Welcome back to the Poultry Doc Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Blayne Mozisek. Each week, we bring you board-certified veterinary guidance to help your flock thrive. Let's head to the coop. Welcome back to the Poultry Doc Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Blayne Mozisek. Today, we are at Sharon's house, Sharon and Bob's house, out in Bertram, Texas, and we're going to show you a new vaccine that we're going to carry. Sharon had called. She was interested about vaccinating for pox, among other things, but pox is the one we're going to talk about today. You've probably seen us talk about another pox vaccine that we have that is a combination of pox and LT, so it protects against avian pox virus and infectious laryngotracheitis in addition to avian encephalomyelitis virus. This is a new one that we have that's going to be great for backyard owners that also protects for MG, so Mycoplasma, Gallisepticum. And so what this is a pox virus that's got some proteins on it from Mycoplasma. So it's going to protect against both of those. The chicken develops an immune response to both pox and Mycoplasma. And it's going to help protect her birds should they ever be exposed to Mycoplasma. They'll still be able to get it, but it'll help protect against those respiratory issues that come up with Mycoplasma. So those can be really severe, and so this will help offset some of the signs if they were ever to be affected by it. And then again, this one also has avian encephalomyelitis in it, which is the disease that really doesn't affect older birds as much, but if you've got hens that are laying eggs that you're going to hatch, if those hens were ever to become infected with avian encephalomyelitis, they can shed that virus into the egg, and then the chicks become infected. And it causes a neurologic disease that we really can protect against, we don't want to see, so it's a great insurance policy to protect against that particular virus. So all those are in here. We have the blue bottle is diluent, so basically just sterile liquid. It's a blue dye in here, so we know that if we mix them back up, we know that Edie. Sorry, Edie. We know that Edie's got the vaccine, so we can make sure that we don't give it to her again. But we basically take the diluent, which is the blue dye, and we mix it with the freeze-dried version of the vaccine. So both of these are stored just at refrigerator temperatures. And so we're going to mix them up, and then we'll show you how to give it. Okay, so we've got our sterile diluent, the blue dye, and we're just going to add it to the lyophilized or freeze-dried vaccine. And kind of got to be a little careful with the blue dye. It is dye, it will stain your hands, but I mean, it does wash off. So give it a few shakes, and that rehydrates that pellet of vaccine, and so good to go. We have our wing web stabber, so it's similar across all the different pox vaccines. Basically, it's two needles, and if you think about like a sewing needle that's kind of flipped upside down where you put the thread through, it's basically that end. It's not a hole all the way through it, but there's a divot in there, just like similar to what a sewing needle would have. And that little divot holds like a few microliters of vaccine. So basically it holds the dose of vaccine, and then when we pass the needle through that wing web, the vaccine deposits in those two little holes that are created. Okay, and so I typically stick with the same wing. So I'm right-handed. It's easy for me to handle her right wing. And so I hold her like a football, basically, cup her, hold her. I've got her like breast against my hip bone here, so she's really secure. And you'll notice that she's got a few feathers here, so it's easy for me to use my left hand, just hold those back and expose that wing web. And so her wing is right here, right, the wing bone, wing, and the muscle, and you see the muscle right there on the edge. And then this is just the skin, like if you've ever seen a chicken wing, it's just the simple skin that's right there, so it's very thin. And what we're going to do is just pass that stabber right through there, pretty quick motion, and just go right through, and then that's it. Okay. All the way through and back out. So you can see it's where the wing web stab went, right? So if I can wipe that away, you'll see two little dots where it went through. Totally normal, that's what we want. What we're trying to do when we give this vaccine is to avoid the muscle. We want to avoid the edge of the very edge of the wing web. And so basically you're going for right in that middle spot. So we're giving it today, and what we would expect if she hasn't been exposed to pox, so if she hasn't had pox before, which she hasn't, in about 7 days we can come back and we can look for a little pox lesion. So if you've ever seen fowl pox in a bird where they get the kind of crusty dark lesions, usually on the wattles or on the comb, sometimes around the eye, we may see a very small little reaction, and that's actually the pox virus, and she's going to mount an immune response to that and develop antibodies, and that's going to protect her from pox really for the rest of her life. It's one of the few vaccines that provide lifelong immunity, and it's really one of the few vaccines that are basically 100% protective. So there could be a scenario where she, is immune suppressed and could get it too, but normal healthy birds won't be affected by pox again with this vaccine. So now let's give it about 2 weeks and she would be protected from pox and Mycoplasma and Avian Encephalomyelitis. So she's all done.
It's okay, Ida. I know he did it, not me. Okay.
That's much better than getting pox.
Yes, I know. I feel the same way. I don't like needles either. There we go. All done.
All done. So Sharon, tell us how long you've been raising chickens and maybe how this all came about.
For my big birthday, I'll say, I'm not going to say the number. My husband was kind enough to give in, and he got me this lovely coop. I really like it. It just works really well for me. The girls do like going inside, so I'm glad that I got a decent sized coop itself in addition to the run. And then once the garden's done, I look forward to being able to let them out so they'll have a place to come outside and get a break from the run in the coop.
Beautiful, by the way. Obviously, they've got the run here.
Yes, sir.
And she's got plenty of waters and feeders. So right now it's almost August, end of July in Texas. So it's getting hot. It's over 90 degrees right now, and it's before lunch. So one thing, like looking at it, like maybe a suggestion too. And I know we've had an umbrella out here, right, for shade. So
yeah, I
shade
put an umbrella out sometimes for shade, but
important.
we're trying to figure out a way to maybe do like a little tarp coming off to give them some additional shade.
Those shade cloths are really nice. I mean, you can kind of stretch them up and make them look nice too. You don't want to take away from the coop at all, but looks like you've got a solar panel that's probably powering a camera.
We've got solar for exterior light. I have a small interior light, solar for a couple cameras out here, ring cams, so I can keep an eye on them, as well as the coop door is automatic, so it closes on its own. Am I allowed to say omelet?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did some research and I got the omelet water and feeder, which I am loving. It keeps the water so cool, and I have it set up with both nipples and with cups because some of the girls prefer one over the other. And the feeder, I find that they're not wasting at all. Been really, really pleased with them. Per your instructions, I put an additional water with some electrolytes in there just due to the heat, so they have a choice between the regular water or the electrolyte water.
Do you find they drink one versus the other?
You know what? They kind of go back and forth between the two.
Yeah.
I kind of see them going to both.
So we can add electrolytes to the water in the summertime. It kind of helps with eggshell quality or thickness, really, because they're panting when they get hot and they're blowing off CO2, and that end result is thinner shelled eggs. So the electrolytes can help there. One of the things that we kind of suggest, especially here in Texas, it gets so warm, is potentially like a fan, just something to move some air around, because maybe not the easiest, but one of the best ways like birds can get rid of heat. You'll see them walking around with their wings out, right, when it gets really hot. That's just them trying to dissipate heat. So some air movement. It's plenty open here, and so like it's breezy here, so it's fine. But that's one of the things. And then, we've got people that have misters out too. That's actually, going a little extreme. It gets not extreme, but it works in certain climates, right? If it's
we can do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you've got water here, so stretch up like a line of misters, and what's even better if you can combine the misting with the fan, right?
The fan.
So that helps. One thing here, it's so humid, right? Those really don't work if it's anywhere like over 80% humidity.
Yeah.
So usually, if you can, like put it on you can buy, Inkbird is a controller. You can buy them on Amazon. Okay. And there's various ones they have. There's like a temperature controller. So basically a little unit and has a plug that drops out of it. And there's one that's temperature and humidity. So you can say, okay, I want it to come on at 90 degrees and less than 80% humidity, right? So that way, because if it's too humid, you end up with just water all over the ground in a mess. It doesn't evaporate. So, but yeah, those are just a few things. They've got plenty of enrichment, so.
Yeah, and then I'll show you inside. So I have a poop shelf and roosting bars and the nesting boxes. I started out with sand on the poo shelf and found that didn't really work very well. So I went to the hemp, and I've been really, really pleased with the hemp.
Awesome. Got your nest pads in there, and
nest pads.
Easy access to the eggs from the outside.
Yeah, outside and inside as well, and
little windows to get some draft in there, which is really great.
Yes.
And then it sounds like you have a broody hen as well. She's not in there right now. We just took them out because we just vaccinated. But just like ours does the same thing, right? It can get really warm in here. So usually we'll just open that door up where they lay at, where they nest. One, that kind of discourages them from staying in there too long.
Get out.
But it also keeps things a little bit cooler too.
Okay.
Well, Sharon, thanks for sharing today, letting us vaccinate your birds and showing everybody like we've got some ways to protect against Mycoplasma and pox at the same time. So again, thank you for sharing that. Beautiful place, and thank you for sharing the coop and all the birds. Excited to see how they do as they grow older and help you, continue helping you. With that, thanks to everybody for joining. This is the Poultry Doc Podcast, and join us next time. Thanks. See you again.
Thank you.
Easy enough. You're welcome.